Bedtime boundaries. So, bedtime boundary is what I refer to how your little one is going down to sleep at night time. And if you've done a lot of reading or research on Google, you may heard of them being referred to as a negative sleep association, a sleep prop, a sleep crutch. I hate that word. And with me, on my approach, it's a lot simpler. And I really don't like those terms because it sounds really bed blamey and sleep shamey, and I'm not up for any of that. So with me, your bedtime boundary, how your small goes to sleep, it's a lot simpler. It will either work or it won't work. And for some little ones, you can give them support at bedtime, feed, rock, cuddle them to sleep, and it just will not be an issue. A huge majority of my families work together and we don't even look at the bedtime boundary. It's not a problem. It doesn't affect the sleep. Where for a small percentage of little ones I work with, their bedtime boundaries, how your little one goes to sleep, it impacts the sleep. It can block your small link in their sleep cycles. I call it the bedtime boundary block. And the reason why this happens, because I really am all about informing you of how your little one sleep and the logical reasons why things are happening, is again, it comes back to that we've got to sleep to survive, but we've also got to survive when we're sleeping. When we're sleeping, we're really, really vulnerable as human beings. We don't like being vulnerable in that state. And at a really basic level, all we're doing every day is surviving. It's crazy when we think of it like that. So we have two safety systems when we're sleeping. One is the overtiredness and the other one is bedtime boundaries. And the reason the bedtime boundaries is all to do with cycling between sleep, or your small sleep cycles. And we all cycle between sleep so that we are making sure we're safe when we're most vulnerable. So sleep cycling makes sure that we wake up at set intervals numerous times during the night to check in with ourselves. I call these your small change checks. And the other one is that we have periods of light sleep to go with our deep sleep, which if something were to compromise us, we would know what's going on straight away. So when your little one first goes to sleep, they start off in a light sleep cycle, then deep, then light, then deep, then light, all throughout the night. Just as they're coming out of their light sleep cycle, just before they're going to their deep sleep, where they're going to be most vulnerable, they'll wake up and they'll do their little change checks. The first change check is they will check themselves, or the body will check itself. And if there was any hanging off, they're bleeding out, they were sick, they had a tummy ache, diarrhea, there was a compromise to their body, it's very unlikely that they're going to link that sleep cycle and go back into their deep sleep where they're going to be more vulnerable. So they cry, wake up, and go into fight or flight mode, and then you'd go in and get them. If everything was okay, they would just tip back into that deep sleep, and then the cycle would go on. The next change check they do is they check their bedtime boundaries, or how they went to sleep. And for some little ones, if there is any change from their bedtime boundary, how they went to sleep, that change could mean a compromise to their safety. And when they wake up, they realise that there's that change very quickly, because again, when it comes to survival, we haven't got ages to go, right, no, mummy, daddy put me down here, they put me down, I'm fine. It is, when it comes to survival, it's all about instincts and being really quick. Every second counts. So wake up, they realise there's a change. That change can mean compromise their safety very quickly. Their body wakes up and they're unable to link back. They're going to fight or flight mode and they're unable to link that sleep cycle. And then what happens is they need whatever happened at the beginning of the night, their bedtime boundary, to tell their body that it's safe enough to link their sleep cycles. Now, for some, I hope that makes sense. And for some little ones, again, you can feed, rock, pat, shush, cuddle your little one to sleep, will not have an impact at all on the night. For some little ones, they will just get to their biological best. And what I mean by that is they'll wake up and they are genuinely hungry and they'll take their feed. They're waking up for genuine hunger and for their feed. Where for some little ones, or it might be for your small, they wake up and they find themselves, they're unable to go back to sleep. They need their bedtime boundary to link those sleep cycles. And what can happen is in the first part of the night, pre-midnight, because that's when melatonin is at the highest, it's usually quite a quick affair. You don't have to work too hard to get them back to sleep. Quick rock, pat, shush, whatever's going on for your little one, they'll go back down. However, from midnight, as the melatonin levels start to leave their body, sleep gets lighter. They start to wake more frequently. They may need more and more of their bedtime boundaries to get them down, or they're up for long periods of time. And from 3 a.m. onwards, when it's that danger dose time, what can happen is they may need to be constantly rocked, bed padded bounce in your bed to actually keep them asleep. Now, what I'm passionate about is that you don't need to teach or train your little one to link these sleep cycles. Sleep is it's our number one safety system we've got for survival. We know how to do it innately from birth. It's just sometimes we have unrealistic sleep expectations, and also sometimes the sleep gets blocked. So I'm really, really passionate we don't have to sleep train or teach your little one to link their sleep cycles. And the other thing is that it's a really individual thing as well. Again, for some little ones, it is just not an issue. They're not sensitive to those bedtime boundaries at all. Where for some little ones, they need to get that settled night's sleep to come. Their sleep story is they do need you out of the room at bedtime and them doing the work themselves for that sleep to settle. But I will guide you through all of that. And again, I go by each individual. Thank you.